We are assuming that you have gone through the week 1 of Coursera courses and downloaded all the text files for those various videos. I have got, I have my window up for Git Bash, and I'm going to cd tilde, which is going to take me to my home directory. I'm going to go into my documents folder. So I'm going to type doc/ hit enter. I'm going to go into my Coursera folder. I could have done all that at once, but I've done it in 2 steps. Now, this is something new. We're going to go ahead and use Git. So in our first 5 videos, we set up Git and had an introduction to Git. We are now going to use Git to keep track of our coursework. So I'm going to say GIT init, and it initialized an empty Git repository. I'm going to say Git status, and it's going to say I have untracked files in Git Foundation of Project Management. And I'm going to say, oh, well, I want to add everything below this directory level. So I'm going to do that by saying git add dot. And then I'm going to say git status. And I'm going to see that all the files that I added are going to be added with my new git. So I'm going to say git commit -a for all -m downloaded files. Boom. And hit enter. And Git is going to go ahead and do those files. Now this is useful because it lets me change these files as much as I want and get back to where they were in the beginning. So if I have an oops moment, if I make a big mistake, if I decide I want to handle something differently later, Git will let me roll back to whatever state I was in without having a panic attack. So git commit is essentially like saving a version of. And we're now going to tear into these files and make lots of changes to them without any fear because we have saved a version of. Let's tear into the files. Our next step is to bring up Notepad. I'm going to tap the Windows key. I'm going to type in Notepad, and it's going to bring up Notepad++. I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. And there it is. I see that I've already done something, so we're going to go back for a second. Let me close this. All right. When Notepad++ comes up, it may have some stuff in it. Go ahead and close all the windows in Notepad++. Save anything that you want to save. And then we're going to go to File. We're going to say Open Folder as Workspace. The workspace we're going to open is Documents, Coursera. You may need to double click to get into Foundations of Project Management. Just single click that and select the folder. And you're going to see Foundations of Project Management come up, and you're going to see all the folders that you created and all the text that you created. I'm going to go ahead and click on one of those so I can see it. And you'll see the file as it was downloaded in transcript. This is really, really ugly to work with. The Google algorithm breaks this up by pauses in person's speech rather than by some sort of logical mechanism. So what we're going to do is we're going to reformat these notes so that they're easier to work with. And we're going to do them all at once. So I'm going to hover over Foundations of Project Management. I'm going to right click and I'm going to say Find in Files. And I'm going to have this Find Replace screen come up. So we have tabs, Find, Replace. These both work within the specific file we're looking at. And Find in Files, which is what we're going to be working with today. We can see the directory that we're finding in is the Coursera Foundations directory. And it's very important that we choose Extend or Extended Search Mode. So you may currently be in Normal. Click on Extended, which gives us the \n, \r, \t. We'll talk about those more in a minute. This is also referred to as \n, \r, \t. And we should have in all subfolders selected here. And that should have been done for us all automatically. But if it's not done, we need to do it. And what we're going to do is we're going to reformat all these line endings into something that's more useful to us. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find whack n, and I'm going to replace it with a space, and I'm going to replace it in all files. So I'm just going to click on Replace in Files, and it's going to say, are you sure? And I've used GIT, so if I need to go back, I can. Yes, I am sure. Okay. And you can see how that has removed all the line endings that came through on that transcript file. That's the first step in making these more useful to edit. The next step is going to be finding our punctuation. So I want to find everything that's a period, and I want to replace that with a period, whack n, whack n. And again, I'm going to say Replace in Files. Are you sure? Yep. Okay. And suddenly, based on punctuation, we have the transcript broken apart into meaningful subsections. Now, just to take a quick look, if I look at my introduction text, you can see my introduction text is pulled up here. And the same thing has happened in my introduction text. This is going to be true for all the text files that I've modified. So we're not just doing one, we're doing everything. I'm going to go back to my welcome text just because I like looking at that. And I'm going to say, how else can I make this better? Well, if periods help me, question marks are probably going to help me. So I'm going to do question mark to question mark whack n in all files. Say OK. You can see we found a couple question marks there. Exclamation mark is one we may want to do. Are you sure? Okay. Now, I've broken everything apart on sentences. I want to go ahead and add commas because commas are often logical breaks. But I'm going to do this a little bit differently because I don't want complete separation. I just want a little bit of separation. So I want to find commas and I want to replace them with whack new line, whack T for tab, and then put the comma back in place. I'm going to say Replace in Files. OK. And suddenly, my sentences have broken apart into structures that are broken apart by commas. Now, when I pull up my videos to watch my videos, I'm going to have a far more structured experience. What I've found useful to do is even before I pull up the video, I take a look at everything that they say, and I read this just like it was a textbook, and I reformat it based on what I think the formatting should be. So he says, "Hi, we're so excited you're here." That's great. I'm Emilio, and I'm a program manager on the Responsible Innovation team here at Google, and I'd like to officially welcome you to Google's Certificate Program in Project Management. Now, I could put that into smaller sentences, but I'm not going to bother. Let's start with a simple exercise. Take a moment and think about some of the different tasks that you've completed in your life. Okay? Maybe you've planned your wedding or birthday party or filled your annual tax returns. So I've noticed that I have a little oops here. I don't want all these sentences to begin with a space. I really want those things to be pushed up against the line. I'm going to fix that by doing a right click. I'm going to do a find in files. I'm going to say everywhere we have whack n space, I just want whack n. I'm going to replace in files. Okay. And you can see all those extra spaces are removed. Maybe you plan a wedding or birthday party. So I want to start making this more like an outline format. Maybe you moved one state or another. I'm just going to highlight and select it. And then I'm going to tap Tab. And I'm going to remove these intervening spaces. And I've gone to something that was just a group of sentences into a structured outline group of sentences. I'm going to go through this entire document and do that exercise. And then I'm going to go back and watch the video. And as he travels through his speech, I'm going to correct anywhere where I have mistaken my indents. So that is how I choose to attack the Coursera learning structure. What this gives me is a complete working textbook of everything covered in the course, structured in outline format. Thanks so much. Bye.